Something happened on Saturday that left me feeling really discouraged, and unfortunately, I let my thoughts spiral and I did not snap myself out of it literally until this morning. And it's Monday as I'm recording this. So, pretty much 2 days were spent worrying about this situation, and I am a very imaginative person, so my imagination was going crazy about all the possible scenarios and possible conversations that I could have or wanted to have. And I just was not doing well and just let it consume me for 2 days. And that is not good at all. I know better. I know that I can't see the other person's side and I can't read their mind and I don't know what the truth is. So it doesn't do me any good to surmise and try and read their mind and figure out what on earth is happening. And there were some good things that came out of it. I ended up talking to my sister-in-law for like 4 hours about it. And there were some good things that came out of that conversation. But I literally let my worry steal my life for 2 whole days. Like, seriously? I know better. And it wasn't until this morning when I was like, okay, enough is enough. This is ridiculous. There's literally nothing I can do about it. I know what is true for me, and eventually that will become known, and it'll be fine. But for now, I can't really fix it, and that's okay. And I need to stop worrying about it. So this morning, I was like, enough is enough, and I did a few things. So I want to just share what I did so that if you are in a similar situation, you can try some of these things and maybe it'll help you too. First of all, when I was making myself breakfast, I put on a devotional podcast, which I now watch on YouTube, but it is also a podcast, whatever. I put on a devotional, and I do this pretty often, but I just was like, I need good noise. Like, my thoughts have been running for 2 days straight. I need something to interrupt it that is good. Because I did plenty of distracting and interrupting yesterday, but it wasn't all good. And so I was like, I need to stop these thought patterns and distract my brain with good things and turn my thoughts to good things. And so I put on a devotional podcast while I was making breakfast, and then I'm trying not to watch things while I eat anymore. So I just put on some worship music while I was eating. And I'd already had my devotions, but after breakfast I went back and I just looked up Psalms for anxiety and started reading through some Psalms, and they're a bit abstract at times. I mean, they're poems, and especially in like the older English style that most Bibles are, it can be even more abstract. But just the message that God is always there and He always cares, and He will get us through things, and we don't have to worry about it because He's ultimately in control, and any worrying that we do is just stealing joy from the present. It doesn't actually change anything. It doesn't actually help anything. So then I just did things to take care of myself for a little bit while still listening to worship music. Like, I went and clipped my fingernails and, just random things to just quiet my mind and fill it with good and uplifting things. And then also, and this is huge, I keep a prayer journal. Have since 2017. And it's crazy to look back on my prayer journal and the things that I was praying about over the years, and like how things turned out so differently than what I was asking for, and how that is so good. Like, if God had answered my prayers the way I wanted them, my life would be a mess right now. Anyways, That's a totally different story for another time. The point is, I keep a prayer journal, and often, especially in times like these, I can tend to pray about my problems and fill up the entire page with just my problems. So I don't even have room to pray for other people. And I found that, I started prayer journaling because I was really struggling with being able to pray in what felt like an earnest manner when I was just praying in my head, because I am a fast reader, a fast talker, and when I'm praying in my head, it's just going really, really fast, and I feel like I can't even really mean what I'm saying. And so I decided to start prayer journaling because that forces me to slow down and think about what I'm writing. Granted, I still write extremely fast, and some days I literally do not pause for a second in the entire page, but it makes me think about what I'm saying because I can't write as fast as I can think. And I've started to realize that there is this pattern that I tend to pray about my own problems a lot. And I lost my train of thought, but I think the reason I was bringing that up is because I have found that when I am praying about my own problems, it's more of a plea, a cry out to God, and I can feel a lot more sincere in that when I am praying in my head rather than writing it down, because I can have emotion behind it, whereas when I'm writing it, it's kind of just words. So this morning I did my praying about this situation and my own problems in my head, and just, my mind wanders and it starts worrying again, and I just have to bring it back and be like, no, we're giving this to God. We're praying to him about it, telling him all about it, not as if he doesn't already know, but because he wants us to bring our troubles to him, and he wants to hear how we are feeling about it. And so I prayed in my head to him about it. And then that was during my devotions before breakfast. And then after breakfast, and I did some other things, I went back and grabbed my prayer journal and prayed about other people. And that's what I mentioned earlier and was saying is huge. It's praying about other people and other people's struggles, other people's problems. It really helps to take my mind off of my own problems that are first world problems and will not matter in 5 years, likely. And that is just so helpful for me to get my mind off of myself and pray for other people. And not just because I don't just do that to get my mind off of my own issues, but praying for other people, we need to be lifting each other up, because just as I have struggles that I go through that I don't tell anyone else about, or maybe a couple people, my friends probably have struggles that I'm not close enough for them to want to tell me. So constantly lifting our friends up in prayer is so important. And that posture of praying for other people and caring about other people more than our own problems really helps to change our mindset and to get our thoughts off of our own struggles and our own worries. And yes, I probably will slip back into worrying several more times this week. But these things that I just mentioned are tools that I know I can run back to when those thoughts start to arise, because I know that these worries are not from God. They are my own mind trying to sabotage my happiness, and ultimately the devil trying to keep me stuck in these negative thought patterns and stealing my joy and wanting me to just be worried and not live in the peace and the joy that God wants to give me. And worrying literally does no good. It's not gonna change anything about the situation. It's worrying about it only hurts me and only steals from today. It doesn't change the future. and it sure cannot change the past. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. I just wanted to share those thoughts and those tips that I have been personally using today, and hopefully if someone else out there is in a similar situation, this was also helpful for you, and that my sharing this was encouraging to someone.